Hi, I'm Laura Ann Steele, Mercury to some, Miss Steele to others. I've been living in London for about 4 years. I came to London to study fashion women's wear at St Martin's. I'm a freelance makeup artist, a hairstylist, a painter. I do a bit of everything really. I'm here today to talk to people who have been photographed by Magnus Hastings. It's basically a shoot of people who work in Soho or run clubs in Soho or work, anything really, just people who influence Soho in one way or another.
I'm Magnus. I was an actor and then I've changed my career to a photographer, and I've been photographing for 4 years. I had an idea to do a picture that was that kind of represented Soho. In 20 years' time, you'd look at it and it would be a representation of what Soho would be now. And because I sort of spent all my time in Soho, and I just thought it would be quite an amazing thing to do. Okay, Jodie, give me more of a thing with your whip. Good. Is that working?
Yeah, amazing. Ready?
Well, my name's Matt. I'm deputy editor of QX magazine, and are we in Soho?
We are.
Oh, so is everything.
My name's Cliff and I'm the editor of QX magazine, and for me Soho's a lifestyle. It's a passion.
Right.
So we go out on the lash. We start off somewhere like maybe Soho Square for a few free drinks from the off licence, and then you'll start doing the bar hop, and you spend 15 minutes in each bar, and then that's your night. And then you end up in the Shadow Lounge, you pop over to Too Much, then you're down
Escape, and then you go to Madame Jojo's, and then you go around the corner to Freedom, then you pop down to Compton's or whatever, and then before you know, you've spent £150 and you've got nothing to show for it.
Okay, well, my name's Jodie and I work at the Shadow Lounge, which is one of the big main clubs in Soho. I do the door there, so hence my fairly stern outfit, because I have to be quite stern with everyone. Yeah, Wonder Woman on wheels. Soho to me is just like the centre of everything. If you're at home, you're lonely and you even can't get hold of anyone. If you go into Soho, you'll bump into someone, you can eat, you can have cocktails, you can just have a coffee. Sometimes you even come in on a rollerblades, and there's always someone there. Go and sit in Soho Square, and then at some point I have to go to work. So yeah, it's pretty much a whole world and a whole family. So it's great.
When I asked people to do the photo shoot, the reaction was amazing. But then, because I built up very quickly, a reputation for my work, and people want to work with me. So I knew, I guess it was a point now where I knew that if I put the word out I wanted to do a picture, then people would do it.
Sí, ¿cómo estás?
My name's Jeff. I'm the owner of the Box Bar. I set the Box Bar up 12 years ago now. When I first opened it, it was quite a revolutionary concept, because then Soho, the gay bars are pretty seedy places, ring a doorbell to be let in. And what I wanted to do was something different, something where everyone would feel welcome. So we had a glass-fronted bar, which no one had done before.
I mean, basically the shooting from 1 till 6.
I had nothing but positive reaction since seeing it. They were like, oh, okay, because they understand that it's a whole, and it's not about. It is about the individual, because it's about everyone kind of being silly and showing off, but it's also that the whole thing works as one picture. Can you hold your arms up?
My name is Natalie van Skalkwijk, and I'm from South Africa, living in London. I'm here today to represent Soho because this is where I feel comfortable being myself, and where I've made my connection of friends, and yeah, it's kind of my home. I think the body's beautiful, and whatever body you've got, naked and skinny, fat, muscly, you know, to show it. I mean, I think that's what Soho is all about, gay Soho, kind of showing what you've got and being comfortable with yourself ultimately.
Hi, yeah, my name's Neil. I'm the manager of Compton's in Soho. I've been there 7 years now. I suppose I got synonymous for uniform wearing. I do have a bit of a dark side when it comes to uniforms, and I just sort of started collecting them, and they sort of like came out of the bedroom really, and people started to sort of like, you know, associate me with the uniform. So we were hiding behind sort of like shuttered windows 10 years ago. We never had the pavement cafe culture we have now. We're out on the street. You know, it's good to be on Queer Street and be out and be seen. No, I feel the sex industry and the gay lifestyle do sit very well together, and they do complement each other. For what reasons? Well, I think, you know, as gay men, we all like sex, and it just works, and it works harmoniously together.
My name's Martin. I am a waiter at Balance here in Soho, Old Compton Street. I've been there for 7 years, and I live in Clerkenwell with my boyfriend Grant. And our cat Brandy. It's somewhere where you can come and be yourself. You know, being as a gay man, we get a lot of crap still now, and I know, you know, people can't be open in their work life. I was very closeted because I was in the army, so I was very closeted for a lot of years. And when I made the decision to leave the army, I wasn't going to lie about who I am, and I'm a gay man, and if someone's got a problem with that, it's their problem. You know, I live a good life, I don't hurt anybody, and that's all I ask. You know, that's what other people should do.
What really knocked me out on the day was that people not only turned up on time, but they made a huge effort.
Yeah.
Andreas, me, smile. Stand up, get a good face. Okay, go. Ready? I'm just going to do some close-ups.
My name is Paul Richardson. I've been involved in Soho for too long, way too long. I was involved in doing the relaunch of Heaven a long way back when, and then a bar called Freedom. I did some parties for that, and ended up launching. I found a little space called, there was a little bar called the Astral Club, which wasn't doing very well, and I was asked to look at relaunching it, so I did that as a Shadow Lounge, which was a huge success. I was invited to see a room at a place called the Roman Review Bar, which is a very famous strip club, one of the first straight strip clubs in the UK, opened in 1951, Sophia Loren and all that kind of people go. And they asked me to do a night there, and I was like, ooh, no, I want the whole fucking thing. So myself and a guy called Mark bought it and turned it into too much. It's got a very sort of naughty nature, which I love, and it's full of kind of colourful people, and you step over the crack addicts and sort of bash the drag queens out the way and sort of see the muscle Marys kind of and the disco tips, and it's just sort of unusual. I think it can be quite cruel, and you see some quite upsetting situations. You see people who have lost their lives and their lives have fallen apart, and they tend to be drawn here too. With its kind of underground naughtiness comes a dangerous edge, I think, which is the dichotomy that makes it so unusual, really.
Hi, my name is Miss Kimberly, and I'm a hooker.
Hi, I'm Tranny Danny.
And she's a hooker as well.
I'm not a hooker.
Liar.
We're both fabulous, well, tranny.
I am not a tranny drag queen. I am a biological Caucasian woman. It's a shame, really, when everyone should come together, you know, like back in, like, you know, the 60s, the day Judy Garland died, you know, when Stonewall was actually created, you know, around that time, all the queens were so together, and now they're so separated. It's just so ridiculous. All the lesbians and all the gays and this and that used to hang out together. Now you got the butch go here, the films go here.
That's the only thing I was going to say. That's the thing about Soho. It can be a bit like pigeon box.
You know, for instance, like with a few straight acting guys, you know, they see us as a threat, you know, because straight acting guys go through society trying so hard to, like, you know, fit into, like, normality, and, like, they look at us, they think, oh my God, that's everything I don't want to be.
I'm an actor.
Why don't you say actress?
It's non-gender specific these days. Not that I have a real kind of political problem with it, but all right, actress.
I'm Simon Gage, I'm a journalist. I used to edit Boys, which is sort of the main gay weekly. I'm still a journalist. I do celebrity interviews for magazines like Sunday Express and Independent on Sunday Review and Heat. Yeah, I think it's a bit of the Canal Street thing in Soho at the moment, where everyone's coming down to have a look at the gays. So you get bunches of straight girls coming down to have a little, you know, fair enough, if they're going to join in the spirit, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it does make, it's not the same as it was, I think. It's funny the way you see guys holding hands walking down Old Compton Street, and as soon as they get to the end, they stop.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, that's the end of the demarcation. You can be gay there, but you got to cross and be straight over there.
I've had things shouted at me in the street for when I've been
sort
walking
your hair
around. Yeah. I've had things shouted in the street. It doesn't really bother me that much. I haven't known to being physically violent, but I've got a couple of friends that have been beaten up before.
In Soho?
Male, in Soho, and a few kind of on the way back from nights out, but which is, you know, quite awful and shocking, really.
I did have it out with a guy once, actually, who was being homophobic.
Oh, right.
And you think, no, this is the one place that you don't put up with it. You know, sometimes you do. I don't often put up with it anyway, but it's the one place you really don't put up with it.
I think the thing is, you actually still. I find it quite shocking when people have homophobic attitudes, because I think I've been here for so long, and I kind of, I'm always in the West End, and I've, you know, just because the group of friends that I've got and I've always had, it's never kind of been a problem whether they're gay or straight. I'm still quite shocked, and I find it quite funny when people are homophobic. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you're saying that. Like, you've got to be joking. Yeah, you've got to be joking. I just think people look like idiots, really, but.
Hi, I'm Naj, manager of the Candy Bar. And this is?
Eliza, and I'm the other manager of the Candy Bar.
Colleagues. I think that Soho has opened its doors for a bigger variety of people in the last 5 years that I've been in London. I mean, I remember coming to Soho and being, you know, you've got all the male gay venues, and you know they're a bit like they weren't as welcoming to women as they are now. And you can be a lipstick lesbian, a butch lesbian, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot easier. It's
a drag king or drag queens or whatever, and you're always welcomed anywhere, you know. And before it didn't used to be.
My name's Tom McMillan. I've lived here for 10 years. I actually work in a bar around the corner called the Box Bar. Been managing that for roughly 10 years. I brought me to Soho. I was gay. I ran away from home when I was young, so and I stumbled upon Soho by accident. What I like about Soho is just it's the vibe. You know, it's such an eclectic mix of people. There's no one group, and it's very accepting. I like it. It's great.
I am Adrian. I've known Kim for a while now, too long, and we started Soho Pride about 4 years ago. This will be its 4th year.
I'm the owner of Candy Bar. It's been going for 10 years in Soho, and organiser of various festivals, gay events, and thought we should have a gay event in the heart of London in Soho. So I went and found Adrian, and it's been happening ever since.
I think awareness has changed really, because before it was literally a community event, so all the bars knew it, and people who come to Soho knew all about it, but now it's getting a bit more of a national feel to it, and it is talked about being the London Pride. You know, because it's
not
in
that we
our
want
community.
that to happen, because we want to keep it. We only promote it in Soho. We don't promote it out of Soho at all. We want to keep it very much a Soho feel, keep it cool, keep it, you know, a little bit exclusive, local, underground, those sort of words.
My name's Tess.
What do you do?
Oh, I'm an astrophysics student at Manchester University, doing my masters. I work at Candy Bar part-time, kinda.
My name's Kate. I'm over from Australia on a working visa. I'm an au pair. What else? That's all. That's what I do.
My name's Daisy and I work in the Candy Bar in Soho. So it's really interesting to see the contrast between two streets. Like, you've got Soho where it was a really lovely day and very safe and everyone was having a nice time and looking out for each other, and then one street over you've got people glassing each other with bottles because they didn't agree on who won the football. In fact, walking to do this shoot today, there's another sign that's gone up in Soho saying that someone else, a female, was subjected to a homophobic attack, and one of our mates the same weekend was subjected to a homophobic attack. And the queer bashing has to stop, because all right, you can be safe in the square and the 3 streets around it, but the moment you step outside of Soho, you're just prey, you're really vulnerable.
So you're filming now?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, no.
My name is Stuart Hu, and I'm the editor of Gay. Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
What?
Stuart Hu. I'm the editor of Gay.com, and I'm a DJ as well, and photographer and Raver. Thank you.
And you'd like to meet someone one day?
One day, Caroline.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hi.
Caroline.
I'm Caroline, and very nice. It's
No,
okay.
don't.
Someone
You
else.
haven't.
But not at all. My name's Caroline. I do a character called Pam Ann. She's a 60s air hostess, and actually on this very day I'm starting to do a show tonight as myself.
I'm doing this photo shoot because it was a chance to meet up with Caroline and other interesting characters, and I feel it may be an iconic and historic memento in years to come, and I'll be able to look back at it and say, wasn't I a cunt? I'll be able to look back at it and just be really happy to be photographed with all the other people who are kind of like characters in Soho at this time.
Well, I guess Soho means to me getting absolutely shit-faced and hammered in the Shadow Lounge.
The Shadow
The
Lounge.
Shadow Lounge. I mean,
Shadow
that's
Lounge.
the heart of Soho. Getting drugs.
Taking drugs. Finding sex.
Yeah, fucking cab drivers.
Bumping into people on the street because it's kind of social, isn't it?
It's social, and
around.
you can have dinner at 3 a.m. So it's always somewhere you can come and know that you can come on your own and you can leave with someone.
And that makes it almost like a large family.
It is a large family.
It is a large family. Dysfunctional.
Who are you? Come on, this is the go.
Come in.
This is Soho.
This is
Soho.
And now Vauxhall.
My name's Troy.
He's a trained first aider.
And I own Barcode, and I live in Soho, and I've lived here for 15 years. I lost my virginity here when I was 14.
Woohoo!
For £12.50. Those are the days you get sex for £12.50.
Right, get in. You two.
Fire.
Good. You can stop doing that now. It was just to represent something, I guess, that I love and I feel part of.
I'm Michael, and I am the bar manager of Escape up in River Street, in the heart of Soho.
Yeah, I'm Stephen Walker, and I'm the local pole dancer, and general go-go boy for the whole of Soho.
I'm Johnny, and I work for Fiction and DCPM and the Blue Cube groups for Soho. I'm just basically a big old cock in a frock. Very big shoes today, which is killing me slightly. But yes, you find me parading around Soho every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then in a gutter on the Monday. And this is my little pal Sergio.
Hiya.
Hey, gorgeous.
I'm Paul, or Paul the Colonel, could I growl in the military way. I'm from Manchester originally, but I've been in London since 1980. On the gay scene mainly, but interacted with all the other scenes on the streets of Soho, you know. From the gay scene perspective, I've seen it change from just the Salisbury and that place in Poland Street that is still going. The Craven Club during the afternoon, you know, when the pubs close at 3 o'clock. You know, the Craven Club, fabulous. Or coming into Soho and going to the Golden Lion, which is like the bar in Star Wars, you know, on the way in. And then going to somewhere like the Comptons, which was pleasant and upmarket. And everybody's taken the easy route, you know, they've gone corporate, they've got an identity, and they've got another place in, you know, in other places. So they become a chain, and so the individuality of the bars has gone. There's no Golden Lion, there's no anything of character. It's all corporate and crime.
Can I smoke? Can I smoke? Can the adults please smoke? Right.
My name is Jodie Harsh. I'm a drag queen. I promote a night in Soho at Too Much called Circus, which is a monthly night. I've worked with Magnus loads of times. We've done lots of shoots together. We've done some magazine stuff, and he shot me naked for AXM magazine as well, which is an experience. With my bits covered up though, with a Chanel handbag, keeping my modesty. And I am in my early 20s, and I'm a drag queen, I guess. I don't know if I'd define myself as a drag queen, but kind of, I dress up. It's fancy dress. Although there are other kind of gay ghettos in London now, you know, there's Vauxhall and things like that. There are other things happening everywhere. But Soho is kind of like the beating heart of like gay London, I think. If all this was taken away, if the seediness was taken away, Soho wouldn't be Soho, and it would just be all bar one and stuff like that. It would just turn into Leicester Square. Soho's character is kind of in its, you know, it's a hybrid between seediness and glamour. I think that's what, trashy glamour, that's what Soho's all about really.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, your friend, what's this place called?
Hang on. We'll put your hat off.
Off?
Yeah.
I'm Ashley, and I have worked in Soho for about 4 years on and off, always with Guy. First for Soho bars and then Soho clubs and bars.
And I've been working in Soho pretty much for the last 14 years, and I work in public relations alongside Ashley, which I just said. Soho being, you know, obviously associated in films and TV and popular culture over the years, particularly in, you know, the last 20, 30 years of our generation, as being the place to go to see the bright, you know, the lights, and it includes everything. It's prostitution, it's drugs, it's entertainment, it's clubs, you know. And so when I came here first, when I was 16 years old, on a school field trip to the British Museum, and I was at boarding school at the time, so it was all very exciting to come to Soho.
The tourists do come in, and you do get people who come to Soho to drink, as opposed to people who just come to the West End. A lot of people come to the bars and clubs within Soho now, whereas Soho was almost slightly in its own bubble. So people who socialise in Soho were Sohoites, if you like. Whereas now you do get a lot of tourists, and with that, the drinking and the fighting and the aggressive side of it, which is slightly different to the aggression you get with the prostitution and the drugs, if that makes sense.
Hi, I'm Polly. When I moved here, I moved from Dublin. It was really exciting being 18, and it was just like, oh my God, you know, lots of other strange people all melting together. It's really nice. I ran the VIP room at Heaven, and that's been 14 years as well, I think. When I first started there, it was men only and me. And yeah, I keep trying to escape the place, but I always come back. So I've lived lots of countries, and I always come back to Soho. Modelling is one thing, and that's been really international. But within Clubland, a lot of people don't last very long, or they come in for a couple of years and leave. But I've been here since '88, and worked at Kinky Galinki's and Skin 2, and I've done every club. Café de Paris a long time ago. So now I'm just back, and it's associated mainly purely with Heaven here.
Hello, I'm Dusty O.
Hi, I'm Lady Lloyd.
Hello, I'm Dickie Bow.
Well, when I first moved to London, there was only 3 gay bars in Soho, and it's a bit different now.
It's quite new, really, isn't it? All the gay village.
I think about the last 10 years, it's kind of picked up.
People like me that come here new feel like it's been like this way forever.
But it hasn't always been like this. It really hasn't. There was Compton's. There was the funny Rent Boy pub just around the corner from Compton's. Just down the road there was the Brief Encounter, and then there was Bang just on the corner, which was really the only gay club in Soho at the time. And when you think how it was then and now, I mean, you can't move, for gay bars, restaurants, shops, hairdressers, clubs, fashion emporiums. It's a completely different kettle of fish now. Well, it attracts you sort of naff tourists, doesn't it? And I suppose if you're from Skegness and you've never seen a man in lipstick before in your life, then I suppose it's worth standing and going ooh, which you get all the time. But they want to look. There was a famous line from the Naked Civil Servant, and all the transvestites of that time used to congregate in a cafe just around the corner from me. And they used to have a problem with the roughs going in and attacking them. And there's a line from the Naked Civil Servant where he turns around and says to a group of these people, "Why don't you fuck off back to Hoxton before I tell them you're queer?" And Soho has always just attracted gay people. Piccadilly's just up the road. Piccadilly was one of the first places, through history has been one of the places where male prostitutes sell their wares. And the whole thing about Dilly Boys, that nickname originated from just up there. And I think being so close to Soho, they used to pick up their trade on the Dilly and bring their trade down into Soho, which up until 50 years ago wasn't well lit, and they'd do the punters up the little alleyways, which is another thing, that drew gay people to Soho, the fact that it was dark and small roads, and they could blend in and disappear easily and quickly. It was one of the only churches in London that would bury homosexuals. So I think that's partly why the reason, that the gay community sort of settled around there. And the church just off Compton Street, the big church, there's thousands of gay people buried in that area around there. And I think that's quite special really as well, because it was the kind of founding place of acceptance. I don't really consider what I do drag in the conventional sense of the way. I don't wear tits and I don't wear dresses. I wear makeup and sometimes wear high heels and sometimes don't. It's not about a sexuality thing, it's about an expression thing and a fashion thing. So I don't think it's drag in the conventional sense of the word drag.
So it's come to the end of the day and I'm exhausted. My feet are killing. I've met so many interesting people today, from drag queens to club promoters. They all had so much to say for themselves. The people who made the most impact were the people who've been here for a long time, who they've seen Soho change throughout the years. They've seen the road structure change. They've seen clubs turning from strip clubs to gay clubs. There's so much history in Soho and I feel quite enlightened. So I hope to see you next year.